Hi, all.
What's going on?
So, this is our third attempt.
Third attempt.
That's what happens. Hey,
Feedback.
it's just feedback. That's how we create success as we continue to try and try and try and take action.
That's right.
And eventually it's going to go. So, today, what is our topic?
So our title, what is your bank account telling you?
What is it?
Is your bank account speaking to you?
Is it? And what is it saying? Listen, listen, listen.
What is it?
Hey, pay attention.
Huh?
Pay attention.
Where?
Pay attention to me.
Oh,
Why?
why?
You know why? Because your bank account is the symptom of your mindset. It's the symptom of your behavior over time. It's
Most
a symptom
importantly,
of what?
your belief.
Your belief system.
Oh my gosh, belief. That's right.
So Henry Ford said it best.
Whether you think you can or you think you cannot,
You're right.
you're right. So what we invite people to do is really look at your belief, right? And where is your belief actually helping create your focus?
Yes, and your focus creates reality. So does your belief, by the way, because what you believe to be true in your reality, you will attract and you will create more of that.
Yep.
And then that also creates your focus, which then your focus creates your behavior. When you take action,
You'll produce a result,
exactly.
one that you're excited about or one that you're not so excited about. So one thing
Hey, Alfredo.
we were just recently talking to a client about their bank account,
Yeah.
right? And we're like, okay, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you when you start thinking about your goals and how much money you want to make and create and manifest into your life, like, what does that look like? And so what a lot of people do is they see, $1,000 in their bank account, and it's like, I can't believe that I could make 10,000, right? There's a lot of us out there that think, well, where do I struggle with the most? Why is my belief affecting me to be able to make more money?
I mean, think about it. Think about what you're making today, in the last year. And this is one of the exercises we're going to do towards the end. Think of what you've made all this last year. And then if you think about like yourself doubling that, how does that feel to you?
What would that look like?
What does it sound like? And how does it feel? And like what comes up for you when you think about doubling your income?
Yep.
Because your income is only a reflection of what you believe to be true.
Of your belief up here. And that belief creates focus, like we said. That focus will determine some kind of behavior. Behavior that you're going to go out there and take massive action, or behavior that you're like, maybe I didn't really want it so bad. Maybe it's, it'd be nice to make 10 grand, 120 grand a year. But do I really want it?
Well, think about it.
Am I congruent?
Exactly. And think about the people that make $550,000 a year versus the people that make $1 million a year versus the people that make $1.5 million a year. What's the difference in their belief system? And where does that come from? Like, why do people believe that they can make a lot of money and why do people don't believe so? Because again, it comes back to your money blueprint. Your money blueprint is essentially the web of beliefs that you have about a certain topic, specifically money. And so we know that our money blueprint is created usually around 0 through 7, right? Because you're like this little unconscious mind absorbing everything in your environment uncritically like a sponge.
Yep.
So go back into your past and think about and feel and see and hear what was going on in your environment. What was going on? What was mom and dad's belief system? How did they talk about money? Did they share about money? Did they encourage you making money? Did they talk badly about people that made a lot of money?
Or is it one of those things that people you don't talk about? Right?
Right.
It's one of those
and you could almost feel the tension around money, right? And it's so funny because money is something that we all need in this society, that in this world we live in, and yet we have all these incongruences. We want it but we don't want it. If we have it, then we feel guilty about it, and it really creates this incongruency, which then projects out into our reality, and it also creates incongruency in our behavior.
We just had a coaching call with a client, and we constantly catch him saying, yes, I can't afford this. Right? Or I can't afford XYZ. So just think of the word afford, right? And first of all, what is that belief? Do you believe you can't afford it? Believe you can? So think of the word afford, right? It's
Yeah.
already a negatively charged word. To afford. I can't afford. I don't have the time to afford that.
It presupposes that you can't have it.
It already presupposes lack of abundance, right?
And
Presupposes
honestly,
you don't have it.
And like our unconscious mind is the owner and operator of our behavior. And so whenever we say these things to ourselves, it's like affirmations of what we don't want.
I believe I can't achieve.
It's also whenever you say, I can't afford it, I believe that every word that we use internally, like everything we say to ourselves inside our head, our internal dialogue, but it's also the words that we talk to other people with. It is like a spell going out into the universe, directing exactly what you want to attract. And so when you say, I can't afford something,
you're just affirming
your wish is my command.
You're just affirming to the unconscious, the subconscious mind that, yep, I can't do it. I can't get it. There's no way I can create that.
Exactly. And then it's interesting because what you believe, then of course, then you'll go through life perceiving your world a certain way and attracting things to validate those limiting beliefs about yourself.
Exactly.
And so it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy of lack and scarcity in your world. And then all the things are created based upon that. And then it is true.
Yep.
Right? So let's go to the first money memory that I can recall is of my parents saying,
we don't owe a dime, but it hasn't been the same since they got divorced. Now they both owe a lot of different, they owe a lot for different things. Interesting.
That's an interesting thing.
Interesting.
And see, listen to that too, because again, the unconscious mind doesn't process a negative directly. So all you hear is, oh, a dime.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question, Kristen. Was there a healthy relationship with money before that?
Right.
Was there, and honestly, how are you doing in your world based upon those beliefs? And ask yourself what specifically was installed by experiencing you that in your life. I mean, in our family, it was very much savers, penny pinchers. We can't afford that. Sacrifice and work really, really, really hard and it's really hard to make money. Those are all things that I heard in our
sacrifice now for enjoyment way down the road, way into the future.
And then, honey, there was this underlying issue that money was something that if you had too much of it, it was a bad thing. Because it presupposed that you were greedy.
People think if you drive a really nice car, right? Oh my gosh, right? What would they think?
And so we create all these beliefs around, we unconsciously adopt them and accept them into our world. And then we go out and we take action in life. And think about a lot of our past experiences. So it's not only the blueprint that we experienced in our environment growing up, 0 to 7, but it's also our relationship with money. You know, when you were a teenager, did you have a job and were you saving money? Right. Was it something that it was talked about? Was it encouraged? Right? Was entrepreneurship or going out there and creating your own independence something that was encouraged?
Exactly.
And then we also have experiences where we've lost money and we've spent in a certain way. And so all those wounds we're carrying with us into our adulthood.
Yep. So where is your belief? So if you keep looking at your bank account, right, and it's talking to you and it's like, oh, is it screaming at you? Is it telling you, where is all the money, right? If your belief is not there and you see whatever you see in your bank account, you're like, I wish I had more money. I want more money. I need
more money.
Here's the thing. You're already affirming, you're confirming to the universe, your reality that you don't have it. And so this is where belief comes in. If you cannot begin to believe that you can make more money, then you won't. That's the first thing. Even really, a lot of times people work really hard. I know a lot of guys that work extremely hard and they're exactly where they are today, where they were 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Right. And they just getting by, right? Just doing okay, right? Paying the bills, breaking even, you know, I can put food on the table. Listen to the language. Listen. It's so important. Belief. What do you currently, here's the thing, if you currently think the way you think and you want to create more money, then something has to change. What is it? Is it maybe believing in something? You know, most people say, they say, I got to see it in order to believe it. I don't see it, right? I'm not going to believe it. So what if you believed and then you saw it? What if?
What if? And what if you're willing to put yourself out there to create something? Because I mean, I remember a lot of things, a lot of time in my past where I struggled with belief. I was one of those people that doubted myself with pretty much everything. I doubted being successful. I doubted that I could make the money that I wanted to make. I doubted that I could make the money doing something that was honest. I doubted my capability as a salesperson. I doubted my way of managing money. I had all these belief systems around if I made a lot of money, then I wouldn't be able to manage it and I would end up spending it. And so I was one of those people that was pretty much plagued with doubt. Well, we got news for you. All doubts are limiting beliefs.
All doubts, anything you doubt, anything that limits you.
And these doubts about ourselves, again, come from 0 through 7 and then our past experiences. But most of them, actually all of them in my experience, are a lie that we've been telling ourselves.
It's
a
story
about our capability and what we can do. And if they are a lie, and if they are limiting beliefs, you can let them go and you can create a new belief. Now, one of the things about NLP that's super, super powerful in the timeline techniques that we do is you can actually go back in the past and let go of these doubts and let go of these limiting beliefs that are creating your focus, that are creating your behavior, that are creating the symptomology in your bank account at the root cause. And then you can take action to become a new person.
Because think about it. There's just memories. There's memories in our past, right, that are highly charged.
Yes.
And there's packed with, it's an infused pact of emotions and, maybe negativity, whatever it is, they're memories, right? And they're just in our past. And if we actually could go back and just think about that and take something from them, a learning, then we'd actually be able to go out and create and recreate a new future based on understanding what we got from the past. So that's really what we do. It's pretty easy actually to let go of things that hold you back. Now, there is another caveat to that.
What is it?
You've got to take massive action.
Yeah.
So we can't believe, right? Put a bunch of things on the wall. We just did we did a 3-day business training and we talked about this in the training. We can't just create a vision board. All the things we want, all the materialistic things, which are fine if we want nice things, put it on the board and then we just believe we have it or we believe we've already created it. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. You can't just sit on your butt and take zero action. So whatever amount of action you think you need to take, we always say double it. And then triple it, because chances are you're going to get some feedback from that action. You're going to make some micro adjustments. You're going to move and adjust, make some changes. And you're going to go back and take more massive action. That's literally the last 12 months. That's all we've been doing. Exactly. Taking action, adjust, get some feedback. That didn't go as well as we wanted. Good. It's okay. It tells us what we need to do to change. Most people just say, well, I'm going to go down this path. I'm going to bump up against a barrier, right? Or an obstacle. And it's like, dang, this obstacle is so big, it's so large, I can't get through it, I can't get around it. So you know what? I might as well just go back. Yeah, and we retreat. And the problem is that you need to think differently around failure. Failure is success. I know that all of my failures in the past are the best learning experiences that I had. And so every time that I failed, I wrote down what happened and what it was, the feedback that I was getting from my environment and also what was going on inside. And if you change it, if you take that and you learn from it, those are your most valuable tools for success. Because you don't even know what you're doing until you start getting feedback. So change your perspective on failure and know that if you take action and you believe in yourself when you're doing it, or maybe you don't believe in yourself, know that even when you fail forward fast and fall right on your face, and maybe it doesn't even get the outcome that you want, that you are winning because you are hacking away from those stories that you're telling yourself. In the beginning, I know that I would fail a lot. I mean, I still do. We all fail a lot. Sure. And it's because we're taking massive action. Exactly. I mean, it's really entrepreneurship. You throw things at the wall, you take action, and then you kind of see how it goes. I'm okay with that. And in the beginning, when I would have a lot of this, I mean, it reminds me when we first came to Austin and we were building our company again in a new place that we had never been before. We didn't really have this many contacts out here. And so over the Christmas before we got here, I created this meetup group.
And the meetup group was to, of course, bring in all these amazing leads, and then we would build value for these people. And then they would see like how much NLP would change their life, and they enrolled in our program.
So there was like 60 women that started signing up for this meetup. And Deb was like, oh,
I was like, yeah,
there's gonna be so
we're gonna
many
get
people.
Like, we're just gonna, come to Austin, and people are gonna just love us, and it's just gonna happen. It's gonna be really, really quick.
So we rented this big space and got all ready for Deb's.
And I had like
empowerment.
160 people sign up for this thing. And I thought that I had it. I set up all the chairs. I prepared for
at least 60 people to come.
And I was getting out of my comfort zone too, because it was something that, I had never really done before. So it's a learning experience. So what happened is out of it was like
120 people enrolled, or like said they were going to come, and then like another 65 or something confirmed. So we were all ready for like 60 people to show up for this meetup. And
I get up there, and I'm waiting for all these people to just come pour in the room. Guess how many people showed up? Seven. And then there was another lady that trailed in.
And there was a few tricklers. I think we might have had 8 or 9.
Which was also kind of throwing me off my game. So in the beginning, I was thrown off, and I felt crushed, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. And I was going through all this shit in my mind. Which
nobody wants this stuff.
They don't love me. Like, who did I think? And then I was beating myself up. Oh, you thought it was going to be so easy? Like, what the hell are you thinking? And all this stuff was going on in my mind. And then I remembered, it's time to get on. And so I got out of my own head, and I stepped up to the plate.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Where's your belief? Where's your belief?
And immediately I tapped into my alignment with my higher self. I mean, that's really, really important when it comes to belief, is having faith, honestly. Having faith that every action and every failure and every time you get feedback and every time you fall on your face, that if you are in your soul's purpose, if you are aligned with what you're really, truly supposed to be doing, that will happen. And so, I did the presentation. It went really well. At least I thought it went really well. And then I actually went around and got feedback a couple of weeks later. And I got smacked down again, where they said, it wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. And I was crushed a little bit. At the same time, I'm like, yes, thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity for growth.
And we know what we said. We said to ourselves, you know what? No one ever said this was going to be easy. You can't come to a new town and say the city of Austin is going to bless us with prosperity. It's just not going to happen. And so what did we do? We took the feedback, we incorporated it. We did the next meetup, and
didn't go so well.
Didn't go as well, but it was a success because we had a lot more people show up, and we were just kind of getting into our groove and finding that.
And we kept taking action.
Yep.
We kept taking action. And eventually we had our training full in May. And when we looked at the bank account over that year, we made over six figures.
6 figures in less than 10 months.
Yep.
So it was about 8.5, 9 months that we did 6 figures. And it's not to brag about 6 figures, but it's like, we know that there are people that could easily be making 6 figures, but they don't.
Yep.
Right.
And I also want to talk about like where we had our expectations too, because when we came out here, I believe I want to be able to replace our income. We had all these goals of what we wanted to do with the money. Though I believe if we had set our goals higher of what we wanted to create, we would have even made a lot more money that year.
So recently we were talking to someone, and they said, I want to make $3,000. No, they said, I need to make $3,000 a month. I've got to make $3,000 to cover all my bills. And I was thinking to myself, just $3,000. So if that's what you need, what do you actually want beyond, right? How much money do you want after the bills, after expenses, after liabilities? I mean, wouldn't like an extra $5-6 grand on top of that be really nice?
Think what you could do with it. You can invest it back in the business. You can invest it in something that you
really, tying
really
it back
want.
to belief. This is why most people don't create a massive amount of wealth, and that's not just money. That's also, being congruent and being committed about what they do and what they love doing, and being able to, make an exchange and create value for people. The reason why most people do not create a massive amount of money in creation and manifestation is because they don't believe they can, and then they don't believe they can set bigger goals. And the bigger the goals, the higher they set them. In other words, if I want to make $3 grand, set a goal for 10,000.
I think most people are so afraid of failing that they don't even put, at least that's my mind read, is that they're so afraid of failing that they'd rather not try.
So set a bigger
And so
goal.
why is it failure if you set a bigger goal, kind of like what you're saying, and you don't get it?
By the way, if you are 85, let's say 80, 85% to goal, let's say you set a goal for $100,000 revenue for the year, next year, this year, whenever. And let's say you do 85,000, but the previous year, you've never made anything more than 50,000. That's a huge
awesome.
success. That's an awesome success. You need to celebrate those wins. Celebrate that
win. So in business,
win.
they say if you're getting 80 to 90% of your goal, you're doing great. In fact, if you're getting your goal each year, you need to set them higher.
If you're hitting your goal every time and maybe above your goal, then that's a classic example of setting bigger goals, because you need to set bigger goals to stretch yourself beyond your own comfort zone. And we constantly find ourselves doing that. Yeah. We constantly say, okay, how can we set a bigger goal? Great. We've made this. We've done this. What could we do? What else? What if we did this?
What is in your capacity that you never thought you could do before, because you have all these limiting beliefs?
Yeah,
because you have all these doubts.
The stuff that holds us back unconsciously, subconsciously. Right?
If you had talked to me back in 2011 and told me that I was going to be a speaker, that I was going to be empowering women, that I'd be a coach, that I could read and write, that I could be great at sales, that I could be making the money that I wanted to make, and I would be in a relationship that was fulfilling, that we have great sex and we love each other and we do everything together.
That's
if
right.
you told me that, I would have told you you're out of your freaking mind. It was a lie. It was all lies that I allowed to create my reality. And guess what I was creating in my life back then?
What?
All the things that I didn't want.
So that's definitely focus. So our belief, we believe, should you choose to believe, you could believe this also if you want to believe, that our belief determines our focus, and our focus determines how confident and congruent we are. How committed we are,
how aligned we are
to the belief. Because I know there are things that I've manifested and I had no idea how I was going to accomplish it. I had no clue how I was going to get it, how I was going to do it. I took massive action. And then all of a sudden, by taking action, like 3 or 4 pathways opened up, and I was like, wow, that one looks good. That's a bright, shiny pathway. It's lit up. Let's take that one. And guess what? I got halfway down. It wasn't the right one. So I changed.
So we hope to inspire you to adopt the belief. And if you don't believe it yet, then play with it, because we believe that you can create anything that you want. We believe that, and we believe that in ourselves, that
Absolutely.
Once we have faith, our spiritual, we also have our mental in line with our emotional body, as well as taking action that's aligned action and aligned inspired action.
Purpose.
We believe that we can create anything. And sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it takes some time. But I know that if we continue to work it, we will always get what we want.
Yep.
And
if you manifest something you don't want, that just means you're a great manifester. You just didn't quite get the specificity down of specifically what you wanted to manifest. That's so true. We know that we've done things that almost self-sabotage. We caught ourselves doing it, but we're like, man, at least we manifested that almost within an hour or quicker. So that's powerful to know that you can manifest things you don't want, and you can also manifest things you do want.
So how do we do this? So for those of you that are joining us with the training, then of course we always say, go back and let go of some of those belief systems that are sabotaging your success. Now, if you're not able to do that, then one of the ways that you can do it is by slowly nudging yourself up to what you believe.
Beyond comfort.
So what you do is you set a goal, and you set a goal slightly out of what you're doing right now. And then you go take action, and you get failure and feedback, and then you take more action. Eventually you're going to nudge the needle to where you want to go.
Yep.
Now, if you want to supercharge this, like we said, then go back and clear out the negative emotions from the past and the belief systems, and then take inspired action, and you'll get the goal that much quicker.
By the way, if you're watching this, what's a financial goal that you would put in the comment below? A financial goal, a specific money goal that you want to accomplish, that you want to master, you want to obtain. Write it in the comments.
Write it in the comments.
I'd love to see that. And then next, I'll tell you what to do with that after you wrote it, after you look at it unconsciously. So when you write that, write your goal. What's a financial goal you want to get? Put it in the comments. How much money? Money's great because it's highly charged. So put a money goal that you want to accomplish in the comments. Right? Or not.
Or not.
So how much
All
money
right.
do you want to accomplish?
So another thing too,
When you're writing that down, whatever that money goal is,
1,000K a year.
100K
Thank
a
you,
year,
Kristen.
cool. So whatever goal, whatever amount of money you want to make, when you wrote that down, if you had something come up.
So where are you now, Kristen, if you would share? Or you don't have to share, you can just say it to yourself. And then 100,000. And then Kristen, write down what comes up for you when you think about going out there and taking action on $100,000.
So do you believe wholeheartedly 100% that you can make $100,000 in a year? Because we believe that. We believe you can.
Yeah, we can.
We believe everyone can.
By the way, Kristen is a fabulous photographer. She actually took some photos of us in the training.
Amazing photos at the training.
I've been handing out her information left and right because everybody wanted to know who took those photos.
So
She's
thank
extremely
you, Kristen.
Artistic. Made the room look so beautiful, and the shots are just
they're great.
Loving it.
Great lighting.
So we're looking forward to be working with you more in the future.
Okay, so whatever you wrote down, your financial goal, 100K, whatever it is.
So then write down, so look at that number, and then ask yourself, is there anything that's preventing you from making that?
And if it looks like if it is an absolute challenging financial goal, then what came up for you? What was the feeling? What were you thinking?
Okay, good. Kristen, I'm already there if you include my husband's income. Way more than that. But let's see, the word but, haha. I want to do it myself. I love that.
Yeah. Don't include your husband's income. This is yours. Your goal.
It's hard
your
for me to
goal.
separate the income. Okay, so what comes up for you when you think about making that $100,000 yourself a year?
How are you going to do it? What can you do?
Not actually tracking it. That's easy to separate, but
the feeling of it.
So one of the things that you could do is start tracking it for yourself, because again, if you're not able to measure your results, you're not getting that feedback.
How do you know you're getting results?
And then if you're not able to get that feedback, how do you know where you're at? So where's the pulse? Another thing that I also wanted to talk about, so that's step number one. Write down what you want to make, and then write down all the things that are preventing you and everything that's coming up.
And then anything that comes up.
So another thing to consider to figure out where your money thermostat is, which is the kind of the in between where your bank account goes. So write down over the last year, what was the lowest your bank account was, and then what is the highest it was.
What was the highs and lows?
And so that's going to give you kind of a parameter of where your comfort zone is for money.
This threshold.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 100% of our income tracked since 3 years ago. Oh, cool. Is there any way for you to separate it?
So you know what you got. So you know what you hit your goal financially, independently, I guess.
Yeah. So knowing your parameters. And so then you ask yourself, so what is the number that's gonna raise the needle on that? And also, if anything didn't come up with the money that you want to make, then double that number, and there's going to be your upper limiting belief.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Double it.
Double it. That usually, because maybe sometimes when we think about our income goal for this year, you're like, okay, that's doable. Last year we did 150,000. This year we can do 250. Or I'm sorry, 200. Now let's double that number to 400,000 and feel the feelings that come up when you say, I will make $400,000.
Or if you make 150 or 200, what if you put a goal to make $500,000?
Yeah.
Or if you make $500,000, what if you set a goal to double or even triple that, 900,000?
Or to keep $500,000, because then if you're keeping $500,000, you're going to
net.
Yeah.
Netting
There's
$500,000.
a big difference between netting.
Netting $500,000.
Yeah.
And making $1 million. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
So ask yourself what's coming up for you. And then whatever comes up for you, those are your doubts and limiting beliefs that are creating your reality. And the best way to clear out those doubts is, again, coming to one of our training, like the hypnosis training that we have coming up in September.
The 3-day modern hypnosis training.
Yeah.
So we're going to teach people in that training how to get into rapport with
their
themselves,
unconscious mind,
right? How to be in rapport, which means how to trust yourself, which begins to open up the possibility of belief.
Yes.
Through self-hypnosis techniques that we're going to teach you.
And there's tons and tons of science
Lots of
that
tips and
shows
tricks.
that doing inductions with the unconscious mind, getting connection, because remember, the unconscious mind creates all your behavior. It also regulates and operates all of your belief systems. So hypnosis is a really, really powerful tool for us to get in contact with the unconscious mind and start reprogramming those money blueprints that we believe about ourselves. And then after that, we go out and take action. And it's so much easier because you're not swimming against the current, essentially.
Right.
When we have those limiting beliefs, it's almost like you're trying to swim up a waterfall. It doesn't work.
And then once you do create some prosperity and you've got some money in the bank, how do you avoid comfort?
Yes.
Right? Because I always think comfort is the enemy of progress. So how do you set a goal so big that's so out of reach that you're like, whoa, maybe you'd have to take different action. You'd have to take a whole complete new set of actions massively to obtain them, to accomplish them. Yeah. So that's something huge. That's a big one too. And we go over that with,
in our 3-day business.
yeah, how to get into rapport, self-hypnosis.
Well, in our 3-day hypnosis, we also do goal setting too.
We do goal,
so
yeah,
we also
absolutely.
go over goal setting.
There's not a training that we don't do with
yeah,
goal setting in,
because
by the way.
it's so important.
It's the most powerful
Goals
thing you can do.
are what give direction to your future. Do you realize that? The more that you put out there, the more that you're going to create. And
they motivate us.
Yes, they motivate us. And it's the best way to get out of your head too. It's the best way to stop procrastination. These are all things that we're going to talk about in later Facebook Lives. So I think we're going to wrap up.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about your belief,
yeah,
or you don't believe about your belief,
put in comments and we will respond. Let us know. And next week, I believe we're going to break down what makes our focus and how to get back on track from distraction.
If we lost it.
Yes.
And
yes.
we'll put a link of the hypnosis training coming up that's at the end of September. So for those of you interested, we do have an early bird special enrollment pricing going on. It'll be going on for 1 week from today for the next 7 days. And I don't know when that ends, but we'll do another video about it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Kristen, what's your last thing? I took a screenshot of it so I can always remember.
To remember how it felt.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. Hey, and also Kristen, put if you have something like your marketing material, go ahead and put it in the comments too for anybody that wants to watch this later and they can get in contact with you. Put a link. I also connected you with Sarah as well too. So I really love your work. Yep. We should see if we can get her for the hypnosis training. Ooh. Yeah. We'll talk. Anyways, we love you all. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us. Let us know if you need anything. And if you're still struggling with belief, change the story. Yes. Tell yourself a new story, a story that's more positive, more uplifting, more prosperous, more wealthy, more healthy. Change the story of belief. Change the story. Thank you. Cool. See you guys.